BYU Basketball got a huge commitment over the weekend. Welcome back into Cougar Tracks here on the KSL Sports YouTube and KSL News Radio. I'm your BYU insider, Mitch Harper. KJ Perry commits to BYU Basketball, the #1 junior college recruit in America. Class of 2026 out of Citrus College, KJ Perry is a Coug. And it's once again another recruiting cycle where BYU has a #1 prospect in the 2024 cycle. It was the #1 European recruit in Yegor Demin. The 2025 cycle, it was the #1 high school recruit in AJ DiBonsa. And now for the 2026 cycle, it's KJ Perry, the #1 junior college prospect. Big time addition for BYU. 6'3", bouncy guard, got a lot of ability. He's explosive. He plays at a great pace to his game. This guy's a bucket getter, and if you assume that Rob Wright does his thing this year at BYU with DiBonsa, KJ Perry could be the replacement to Rob Wright, potentially. What's exciting is that Perry, who's got 3 years of eligibility remaining, 4 years to play 3, he's going to enroll at BYU at the winter semester, redshirt for this season, be around the program, kind of like what Hadim Mbop did this past year, coming from the NBA Academy and Utah Prep. He joined at mid-year and then redshirted. Perry will redshirt and then have 3 years of eligibility remaining in his college basketball career. He was once a Cal State Northridge commit. Then he pivoted to the JUCO route, which honestly I think is a great move for prospects. Mid-majors, JUCOs, I think that's the move. If you're not a top 50 recruit, top 75 recruit, don't go to a power conference team. Go to a JUCO, go to a mid-major, bet on yourself, and then level up and get the big payday that way. And KJ Perry bet on himself, went JUCO, stayed nearby his hometown, and he tears it up. And during the live period in July, BYU offered him, and his recruitment blew up. He picked BYU over the likes of TCU, SMU, USC, had offers from Kansas, Arizona State, Cincinnati, UNLV, some great basketball programs, Oregon. He picks BYU. So KJ Perry is a Coug, and you look at this 2026 recruiting class for BYU with signing day coming up next month. BYU's got 3 commitments with Perry, Dean Rickert from Timpview, who's going to join the program next April, and then Will Openshaw from Timpview, a big man. He'll join the program after he serves a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But Perry's a bucket. Last season, he had 8 games, more than 20 points in a given game in his first year in junior college basketball. He had 1 game where he scored more than 48, or he scored 48 points, which tied a Citrus College program record. And then he also had 14 made field goals in that game last December. So Perry can fill it up. One of the things, too, that's cool about Perry, watching some of his content over the past few weeks and months, Perry, he had a video with the Bucket Squad guys. I don't think it was Jesser. If you're not familiar with this, the Bucket Squad is, Bowie. I believe it's Bowie. He was on one of those videos. Bucket Squad, I actually find myself watching those. My son loves the Bucket Squad and Jesser, my oldest son. He gets the shorts and everything. But when he's watching those videos, I find myself watching them too. And then I find out one of the videos we were watching, I'm like, this was a few weeks back. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's KJ Perry, the guy BYU's recruiting. But it was like a pickup game for $1,000 worth of Bucket Squad gear, and I think KJ Perry's team won. Anyway, Perry is a big-time prospect, and I think he's going to be really good and a good fit for what Kevin Young wants on the guard line. And again, if BYU does what they should do with Rob Wright, if he's as talented as we would expect, and I think Rob Wright is going to be brilliant this year for BYU, that would lead me to think he's going to be in a position to go to the NBA. So he goes to the NBA, that leaves an opening. KJ Perry steps in as kind of that combo guard. He could play the point. He could play shooting guard. Again, things are positionless with Kevin Young. You don't want to get into you're this position, you're that. Like we could see AJ DeBonsa this year playing the point guard position for BYU. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So Perry's dynamic, though, and I just think that he gives you a nice pipeline. And when you kind of look way too early, and again, this is incredibly early, and this might be a fool's gold thing to do with how college basketball is structured, because there's so much player movement, and to do something like this would just be naive. And I'm sure no one around BYU is doing this because with the portal, things can change, and you just can't assume everyone's just running it back. But if a lot of the guys that do have eligibility after this year do return, and I'm not talking about DeBonsa, I'm penciling him in for the NBA. I'm going to say Rob Wright to the NBA. Maybe he could come back. We'll see. But you'd have guys like Tyler Murruss, Kennard Moo Davis, Brody Kozlowski, Hadim Mbop, Dominic Diomande, Xavier Staten, Alexei Kostic, Dean Rickert, KJ Perry, Brooks Barr's on a mission currently. He was a former Mark Pope signee, so we'll see what happens there. But a nice base, nice group of players to work with, guys that will get elevated roles. Rickert could be the next Richie Saunders. Staten could be the elite shot blocker and be that starting five for BYU in the future. You know, Staten's going to be interesting this year because you look at his size and his length and his upside and potential and how much room to evolve in his game he has. The minutes that he has, he'll be fascinating, I think, for scouts potentially too. But there's a nice core of players if they decide to, run it back another year, some of these guys, and come back to BYU. That's a nice grouping of personnel to work with for the Cougars. So good pieces in place for BYU basketball. Let's take our final break. It's Cougar Stock Exchange coming up next here on Cougar Tracks.